Cavan, the campaign trail comes to Cavan, Monaghan. How do you think the constituency will come out for Martin McGuinness?
Well, I think it's even early this evening. We haven't yet got to the 8th hour, and the welcome for Martin as he arrives into this venue, and already the crowd is quite impressive. I have no doubt that we're going to have a packed audience here tonight. There is powerful enthusiasm right across Cavan and Monaghan for this contest. There is undoubtedly a new sea of support out there, and I mean, to remember, this is the constituency that chalked in 18,500 first preferences for Sinn Féin last February. We have no doubt in our minds, from the enthusiastic response that we're getting from people who haven't traditionally supported our party, that Martin McGuinness is even going to do better in this election than we have ever recorded before. So we're enthusiastic for the campaign. We're looking forward to knocking the doors, meeting with the people and putting forward the case for the People's President. And already, for everybody here in this room, Martin McGuinness is the People's President.
And just at the very outset, can I ask you all to give a very warm Monaghan welcome to presidential candidate Martin McGuinness.
We are proud to have stood and still to stand by the ideal of a united republic of all Ireland. We are proud that this generation of Republicans has created a peaceful and democratic way forward to the achievement of that republic. And we are very proud to have leaders who have led from the front. Leaders who came from a place and a time when they and their communities were treated as second-class citizens. Leaders who helped to bring all of that to an end and who have brought real change to this island. Such a leader is our guest speaker here tonight, our candidate in the presidential election. Akarja, will you give a real resounding Cavan and Monaghan Céad Míle Fáilte to the man who will be the People's President of Ireland, Uachtaráin an Phobal, Martin McGuinness.
Well, Gurma Agat Cavan, August Fáilte Rómh Galéir Díomh. Can I say thanks to everybody for coming this evening, and a particular thanks to all those involved in the organisation of this event. It's an absolutely magnificent turnout, and I have to say I'm hugely heartened by what I've seen this evening. Really honoured that Roddy and Ciara and the girls have come also to pledge their support to what is going to be a very interesting campaign, for want of a better word, over the course of the next number of weeks. Irish history is littered with people who rose up against injustice and who found themselves in very important positions. One of our opponents in this campaign has tried to drag me into a slangy match, the representative for Fine Gael. I think he said in the Late Late Show, Martin, you're no Nelson Mandela. I never claimed to be Nelson Mandela, but I do know Nelson Mandela, and I've met him on a number of occasions. I do know that the person who said that is no Michael Collins. And the thought occurred to me, that if Gay Mitchell and I could go back in time just over 100 years. And Michael Collins had to choose which of the two of us he wanted to go into the trenches with him. I just wondered who he would choose. And so we move on. We can see what is shaping up. We see today, front page of the Independent, the Minister for the Environment, Phil Hogan, say that if Martin McGuinness is elected as President of Ireland, it will put off United States corporations and multinational companies from investing on the island of Ireland. Such ignorance. On the very day that my candidature was announced, I wasn't in Ireland. Where was I? I was in New York at the tail end of a trade mission to the United States with Peter Robinson, where we started off in Los Angeles and were met by the senior executives and senior vice presidents of Warner Brothers, HBO, Sony. Moved on to Chicago to meet with Allstate, who have employed many people on the island of Ireland. And then moved on to New York, where myself and Senator George Mitchell and Peter Robinson opened the Newry-based company First Derivatives office, going worldwide in New York. When my candidature was announced, I was sitting on Wall Street, meeting the senior executives of the New York Stock Exchange. And I have news for Phil Hogan. Over the course of the last 4 or 5 years since I first stood up as Deputy First Minister alongside Ian Paisley, and then for 4 years with Peter Robinson, we have brought in something like up to 14,000 jobs to the north. And I'm sure I can say without fear of contradiction, we brought in more jobs in that period than all of the other candidates in this election together. I have friends in every single one of Ireland's 32 counties, and I can see that people are outraged at the greed and corruption which has given rise to the greatest economic crisis that we have ever faced. And I think it is a scandal that ordinary people up and down this island are paying for this every day, whilst at the same time trying to keep a roof over their heads and food on their tables. And I think it's also a scandal that in the Ireland of 2011 we have a crumbling, chaotic health service. And nobody knows this better than you, the people of Monaghan. We have seen vital services stripped from local hospitals, leaving many people at risk. And I believe that the greed and selfishness that dominated so much of political and business life in Ireland in the Celtic Tiger years is responsible for the mess we find ourselves in today, where we cannot provide adequate social services for our citizens. So, in my view, those responsible for this state of affairs are not Irish patriots. Patriotism, as far as I am concerned, is about country. It's about people. It's not about yourself. It is certainly not about self-aggrandizement. And I believe that because greed and selfishness is not the Irish way. Local identity, community and sense of place is what defines us as Irish people. Knowing and helping your neighbour and being tolerant to those who are different. As President, I will be at the forefront of an Ireland reclaiming its true sense of identity. I want to give the Irish people back their confidence. We have seen the greed and powerful wealthy groups dent the Irish spirit, so we need to see genuine values replace a culture of individualism. As President, I want to see every citizen regain a sense of pride in their Irish identity. I want to highlight the importance of community and inclusion, which are the cornerstone of Irish life. So Ireland can and should be a place of positivity where creativity and innovation are nurtured. I think there are far too many cynics that stand in the way of our country reaching its true potential. I want to see Ireland reclaim the greatness of the tens of millions of Irish people across the world who are leaders in innovation in countries in which they now reside. So I want to be a president for all of the Irish people, including the diaspora. As a father and a grandfather, I refuse to be part of the first generation of Irish people to hand the society on to the next in a worse economic state than it was given to us. As President, I will work tirelessly to fix what has been broken and to inspire everyone who is Irish or who has links to Ireland across the world to work together to make our country great again. So if the Irish people vote for me as their President, they know what they will get throughout 40 years or more of political activism on the streets of Derry, in Downing Street, in the White House, in the Assembly, and on Good Friday. I have sought to bring a set of principles to my work. What are they? Well, they're commitment, leadership, patriotism, endeavour, selflessness, and a deep commitment and love of the Irish people. As President, I will defend and promote Ireland. I will uphold the Constitution, and I will stand up for Irish sovereignty and Irish freedom. I believe the signatories of the 1916 proclamation would have wanted us to try to bring about the reunification of our country by the means we have now deployed. So we go forward as Irish Republicans, as Irish Democrats, and I am absolutely delighted to be in Monaghan this evening to Achas Morurum, Avain Shaw, Liv Anocht, and I want to thank each and every one of you for coming along this evening and for staying with us on this journey for the foreseeable future so that we can continue to bring about the type of change that I know in their heart and soul the people of Ireland want. Gorda Mila Mayogaf.
Got a great crowd here tonight. What motivated you to come and support Martin McGuinness in his presidency campaign?
Well, if you look at the post of the People's President, you know it is about people. Martin said that in his speech. He's been a man of the people his whole adult life. He stood up for his cause. I like people that put their head above the parapet and stick with the cause. I've had it in my own life with my brother being a boxer and myself being a footballer. When you dedicate yourself to something, I think you deserve the rewards at the end of it. So, yeah, I like his dedication and I like his concern for his community. And I think that's what we need back in this country, community spirit, and people that aren't going to rifle the coffers. And, you know, get the mentality back into the Irish people to look after each other and to move forward and not be living in the past and bickering and mudslinging, and I don't like that. So that's the main reason I'm here to support Martin McGuinness.
Tá an muine agam sa é Martin McGuinness agus sílim go mééis sé furfa mar uachtarrán na Héireann agus bé sé na uachtarrán don tíramlán. Ní bhé sé chud sé ach bé sé don tíramlán. Agus sílim gur éisian an duine is fear atá san factas seo le gol I gcóir an anfad. Agus níor san é héana tá sig dul. Tá sig dul ar san na daoine agus creidum gachra de Georgie far próga é agus far uail é agus tá anmuine agam sa an agus tá mé cinse go mééis sé an sin agus tá mé agsúla sin. Sílim go mééis go híntaach ar fad.
Martin, how do you feel about the support you received here tonight in County Monaghan?
Well, Monaghan was, as I expected it to be, absolutely fantastic. The place was packed to the rafters. People are up for the campaign and they're in good form. And there's also an awful lot of anger at the way in which some elements within the media in Dublin have tried to resort to dirty tricks and all sorts of black propaganda. But the ordinary people of Ireland can see through all of that, and I have every confidence as we go forward that more and more people will see that these are the acts of desperate people who are trying to hold back the tide of history.
Martin McGuinness, Kermit about it.
All right.